Hi, I'm Deborah Mackenzie, Century Partnerships Manager for the North.
And I'm Paul Leahy, Century's Partnership Manager for the Midlands. We're really excited to join you for the annual AOC conference, albeit online. For those of you who haven't heard of Century, we've become the platform of choice for maths and English and functional skills in further education. In fact, we're now working with over half of England's colleges. We use artificial intelligence to quickly identify your students' gaps in knowledge and create a truly personalised pathway which plugs their gaps in learning.
We have complete curriculum coverage across the maths and English GCSEs and functional skills, with demonstrable results too. Research has shown that students using Century to learn for an hour a week have progressed more than 10 times the national average.
We'd love to meet you at conference and discuss your individual requirements, but first we'd like to share some snippets from the colleges we work with following our recent webinar, The Future of Education. This was a best practice event which allowed us to let our colleges talk about how well they use Century across their colleges. So I'm going to now pass you over to Adrian at Bradford College to start with.
Well, we've always been keen to have an intervention approach which helps us develop the skills that students don't yet have. Developing a truly individualised support package is the heart of our plans from the very start. For example, we wanted to create our own videos and work packages and to curate all the resources from the wider community. So if a student does fall behind or needs to work in a particular area, then we've got multiple resources to support. But Century Tech seemed like the ideal solution to this problem for us, because for us to curate the resources and to bring all the videos and work packages together that we needed, it involves a substantial amount of teacher time. And I've worked with Century Tech at other organisations at which I've been a member of staff. In 2015, I was doing some consultancy at a college in Luton. We engaged with a UFI project then, which included Century Tech, so I knew what it was capable of. The appealing aspect to us at this college was the fact that the assessment identifies the skills gaps and the AI determines what content to push to fill in those gaps. The package works brilliantly as a supportive tool and complements the work that goes on in the classroom. And for us, that's the key bit. It's got to support, complement, and wrap around that so that the student is able to access that at any time. And for this year, we planned for all students who have been streamed onto a grade 3 resit provision the opportunity to sit the autumn series. We estimated in the business plan this would have been about 750 students for English and 650 for maths. But that was pre-COVID. When we got to college, we returned to college in August, we had to deal with a significant number of complaints from students about the grades they received, even though it had been a record year for results within the college. Many were aware that the government had promised that a resit was possible if they were unhappy with their grades, and so we had a significant number opt in to do this. When we looked at the numbers, we decided to pull all grade 2 and 3 learners through the resit and use it as an externally validated assessment point. This year, we're very explicit with students that performance on the 3 assessment points is really important if we need to use centre assessed grades again.
One of the things that I wanted to look at ready for September 2020 was ensuring that intervention and one-to-one support was available for all students. And I also wanted to look at the more individualised learning plans and look at how digital platforms could support us in that. At my previous college, I'd just been through an Ofsted, which was focusing upon, in fact, 2 out of the 3 key areas, was about the purposefulness of assessment and how it's actually used to inform planning and teaching. And again, that's what I wanted to investigate in terms of looking at alternative platforms that could support us in looking at assessments. To me, was more important than lots and lots of hours teaching. Instead, it needs to be more personalised. And also, we needed to improve the independent learning of our students. So for this, we needed a new way of working to support our students to gain more employability skills, because that's what our college is all about, preparing them for the next step. As we all know, back in March, lockdown hit. We'd already been looking at a number of different platforms. One of these was Century, and we took on the trial. And took advantage of that free trial to see what our students thought of it, what our teachers thought of it. And and really to see what impact it had on engagement in our distance learning while the students were working from home. So I've just included on the screen there some of the feedback. We were getting student feedback and staff feedback, and we decided that we really wanted to fund this. Obviously, these platforms are not cheap, but we definitely see it as an investment to be able to support our students in English and maths. So I wanted to build this completely into the remodelling of the curriculum. So like many of you, we designated 3 hours for GCSE, 2 hours for functional skills, but in terms of this time, looking at the progressive gap analysis, we decided to build in a whole hour of Century, but this would also be intervention time in the classroom.
For students, what Century Tech is offering them is an opportunity to practice, to gain fluency in the first instance. Time in class is for us a bit more limited than it was, and it's really important that students can keep practicing and free up time in class for really important work on problem solving, where the teacher is needed. Collaboration with students is really needed as well. So Century Tech has really helped us in that, and that's an important for us. It's about students taking a bit of control of their own learning. For teachers, and managers, I suppose, we want visibility of student progress and effort as well. We always have visibility of student progress, I guess, but visibility of student effort is something that's quite important for us. It's now, the click of a button, I can look at, one of the students in the organisation across any of 8 campuses and tell you how much time and effort they're putting in. And in terms of driving interventions, that's very powerful because, and almost more powerful than looking at attainment levels. Now, we looked at their results in their first November assessment. That's an internal assessment, not the external exam. And these are the sort of findings we found. It was what we were sort of interested in is to see at what point, what sort of volume of usage do students need to reach in order to start seeing, immediate, reward.